So you guys remember last week how Trump disappeared a bunch of undocumented workers along with a bunch of American citizens? They wouldn't tell us who they were. They still haven't told us who they are, but they told us some of them are American citizens. And they swore to us that they were all gang members, Venezuelan gang members. So they sent them over to the worst prison in the world in El Salvador. Yes, they deported American citizens without even telling us who they are in the middle of the night, based on charges that we don't even know about. We don't know if they did anything wrong. We don't know if they're actually criminals. We don't know a thing about them. It seems pretty bad. But not only did they not do that, not only did they do that, folks, but they spent, I don't know how much money, making a propaganda video celebrating the death of our country. One of the most horrible, dystopian, nightmarish things that has ever happened here. Watch this high production value video they made to try to sell this as a good thing to the American people. They got drone shots. Look how many men with guns, troopers they have. It's like a scene from Con Air, folks. Look how over the top this shit is. It's all theater, 100% a political show. Just so ridiculous and over the top. But the reason they're doing this, folks, is they're sending a message to all of us. You could be next. You could be next. You don't even know who these people are. You don't even know what they did. We disappeared them. We're going to get away with it. We ignored the judge that told us not to do it. Nobody is stopping us. You could be next. Do you have Trump derangement syndrome? Might be off to the rape camps of El Salvador, where no lawyer can really come hear your case. Your family can't visit you. You're all alone. You're separated. You're segregated. Nobody can hear you scream as you're raped to death in our El Salvadorian prisons. Are you afraid, America? You better goddamn be. Fascist evil directly in our fucking face, not trying to hide it, bathing us in it, folks. And the families have come out and said, some of our family members that sit over there weren't even criminals. They had no criminal record, y'all.
The administration ignored his order regarding the deportation of hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members. And new information now from officials that those deported may have been charged with the crimes, but not necessarily convicted.
NBC6 politics reporter Hatzel Vela is live now to explain the back and forth. Hatzel.
Jawad, Jackie, that hearing before a federal judge is happening as we speak right now at 5 p.m. He wants to know if the White House disobeyed his orders. But first, hear from a family in Venezuela wondering why their loved ones was sent to El Salvador when they claim he does not have a criminal record.
To us.
Este chamo que está aquí se llama Francisco Javier García Cacique.
Francisco is his name. They say he's part of the group of hundreds of Venezuelans the Trump administration alleges are gang members who were deported to El Salvador over the weekend.
Mi hermano es uno de los inmigrantes.
His brother, he says, does not have a criminal record in Venezuela or the United States.
Se les violó su derecho.
They argue his rights are being violated as he was told he would be deported to Venezuela, not El Salvador.
I can tell you this, these were bad people.
The president is claiming authority to do this, citing the Alien Enemies Act from 1798, which has only been used in times of war.
Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people.
So now the White House is locked in a fight with the courts. A federal judge quickly blocked the move, ordering the deportation flights back to the U.S., but they did not return. The Trump administration says it did not defy a court order. The administration appealed the judge's ruling, arguing it was issued after the planes had left U.S. territory.
I believe that this could be the beginning of a constitutional crisis.
You think?
Constitutional attorney Joseph Malouf says the country should be deeply concerned about what's going on here.
Yeah, we are.
So now you have somebody who's allegedly breaking the law. He's in charge of enforcing the same law. That is a conflict, and that is a crisis at a constitutional level.
During the back and forth, the White House has not identified those deported or provided proof of their crimes, a violation, critics say, of the 14th Amendment.
And many people who are being picked up may or may not be members of the gang, may or may not have committed a crime.
We have no idea who they are.
And that is why we have adjudications
to
they
don't care, though.
What the person.
They're doing it on purpose to send us a very clear message. Shut up or it gets into the rape camps, y'all. I've never seen anything like this in this country. It's the most terrifying time to be an American. Lots of major media outlets took the Trump administration's evidence-free claims of criminality and gang ties at face value just a few weeks ago, playing a role in manufacturing consent for some of the country's worst human and civil rights abuses. But they've already got the message. Hey, if you speak out against Trump, if you call this stuff out, he could remove your license from the FTC. He's already said that what you're doing is criminal. If they're sending these people to the rape camps without even knowing who they are, what do you think he's going to do to you speaking out against them? Even if he doesn't do it, the threat already has done the damage. Many of the non-citizens who were deported pursuant to the Alien Enemies Act on Saturday did not have a criminal record in the United States, an immigration and customs enforcement official said in a sworn filing overnight. But they don't give a shit, folks. Here's how the game works. The judge specifically said, you can't do this. You can't deport anybody, much less American citizens, without charges to a foreign government to their rape prisons. He gave the verbal order, thinking that that would stop them. They heard the verbal order, and they immediately put the people on planes and flew them to international water. So by the time the written order came through, they could claim that the judge doesn't have any jurisdiction. They ignored him, and then they're going to claim that a verbal order is not the same as a written order. Here's White House spokesperson to make the claim.
Back to those deportation flights to El Salvador, can the administration provide any more details on how authorities determined that each of those men were in fact members of a gang? And if the White House can publish images, photos, videos of those men, why can't the administration just release basic information like their identities and names?
We are not going to reveal operational details about a counterterrorism operation, but what I can assure you, as I said on Monday, we have the highest degree of confidence in our ICE agents and our...
So just trust her, bro. Just trust us. That's her hope, proof, all her evidence. Just trust us. Conservatives, like, isn't this what you guys said you needed all those guns for? The government just saying trust us as they round people up without even telling us who they are and deporting them to foreign countries, to the worst prison on earth. Isn't this the treading on us that you said was the very reason you would die before you gave up your guns? God, I wish you people were about anything. I wish you meant anything you said. I wish you were something other than the spineless jelly in which you cowards are. Psycho shit. Steve Bannon on if innocent people got sent over to the rape camps. If there's some innocent gardeners in there, hey, tough break for a swell guy. Yep, oopsies, oopsies. Hey, I guess you should have come over to this country if you were undocumented. Just the fact that you're in this country undocumented means you deserve to get sent to the rape camps in a foreign country. That's where we're at, folks. Hey, have him on again, Gavin Newsom. Have this guy on again and lick his butthole. Fucking useless Democrats aren't going to help you, folks. And here's the clip I was talking about, where she claims the judge's verbal order doesn't count.
You keep talking about the judge's written order, which hit the docket Saturday night at about 7:26 p.m. But he issued a verbal order before that at about 6:45 and 6:48 p.m. based on the court hearing. A verbal order from the bench. Does the White House feel the need to comply with a verbal order from this judge?
Again, as I said, all of the planes subject to the written order of this judge departed U.S. soil, U.S. territory before the judge's written order.
But what about the verbal order, which of course carries the same legal weight as a written order, and said for the planes to turn around if they were
Well,
in the air?
there's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight as a legal order, as a written order, and our lawyers are determined to ask and answer those questions in court.
Yeah, that's a question from us. We're just denying that she has the authority to tell us what to do, and so we're not going to do it. We're just going to do the opposite and then go over international waters and say you don't have any fucking jurisdiction here. Then Pam Bondi, the head of the Department of Justice, says that she doesn't have to answer to the judge. The judge wants answers. Hey, I gave you guys a direct written order not to do this. You did it anyway. You disappeared people to rape camps without even telling us who they are. That's not allowed. So, of course, they're saying we can do whatever we want to. It's a dictatorship, baby. We answer to no one. We'll disappear anybody to the rape camps we choose. What the fuck are you going to do about it? The Justice Department on Tuesday refused to answer a number of questions from a federal judge who had demanded more information on deportations that were carried out under a rarely used wartime act. The government maintains that there is no jurisdiction to order the provision of additional information and that doing so would be inappropriate. Yep, we don't answer to you, baby. And then she went out today and said judges have no right to meddle with us. We have a king. The checks and balances no longer in place. We answer to fucking no one. Then they went out there to try to slander the judge. This is a standard operating procedure. They get out there and call him a leftist, evil activist. He should be impeached. Nobody should listen to him, to justify the fact that we have a dictatorship, to justify the fact that they're starting the precedent not to listen to judges anymore. This is how they're trying to sell it, by pretending he was some kind of liberal activist. So here is White House spokesperson Leavitt claiming that this judge was put in office by Obama. Spoiler alert, she's lying.
And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is
Let me turn it up a little bit.
And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama.
Nope.
His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
So even if all that were true, that doesn't mean you can just ignore the judge's order. Just because you don't like the judge, just because the judge is on a different party than you, doesn't give you a reason to just deny the checks and balances. But, you know, they're just looking for excuses. They're trying to sell this to the American people. Hey, this is why we have the right to be a dictator, because it's a liberal judge. Just eat it, cult members.
You took me right where I wanted to go about the idea that these people are all foreign terrorists. But Judge Boasberg was originally appointed by George W. Bush and then elevated by Barack Obama. I just feel like I should clear that up.
Yeah, just to clear up the fact you're lying your ass off. This is a George W. Bush appointee, but they don't want you to know that part. And then Trump freaked out. So this is another threat, another shot across the bow. They're sending an obvious message to all the federal judges across the country. Hey, if you rule against us, we're going to come after you. We're going to try to get you impeached. We're going to come after your family. We're going to smear you in public. You're going to get death threats. And even if they don't actually impeach this guy, even if they don't actually do anything to him, the other judges get this message loud and clear. Hey, do you really want to go through the trouble that you're going to have to rule against Trump? Might as well just let them do whatever they want to do. Don't be a hero. Trump says this radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker and agitator, who was sadly appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, was not elected president. He didn't win the popular vote by a lot. He didn't win all 7 swing states, blah, 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 blah. He should be impeached. Yes, let's get rid of any judge that actually holds us accountable, that actually pushes back in any way. Over on Newsmax, I guess I'll give them credit. They actually asked, under what grounds, Representative Brandon Gill, do you have for wanting to impeach this judge? Because according to the statute, the judge has to have committed high crimes and misdemeanors. So what evidence do you have that he did this? Here's the answer.
I have to ask you this. For impeachment, obviously, you have to have high crimes, misdemeanors. What crime did the judge commit?
This is for usurping the executive's authority, for demeaning the impartiality of the court by making a politicized ruling and forcing a constitutional crisis. That is a high crime and misdemeanor.
So in other words, he went against Trump. That's all they're saying. He didn't do anything except for go against Trump. And their claim is that if you go against the orange dictator, that's a high crime and misdemeanor because he's a king, baby. The king has the ultimate fucking rule. Anybody who goes against it should be fired, perhaps sent to the rape camps. Over on Fox News, this is how it plays, folks. Once again, even if they don't do anything to this judge, all the other judges get the message loud and clear. The #1 cable news network in the world will try to crucify you. Will make your life a living hell. We'll broadcast stuff against you like this.
The message is clear. Leave voluntarily or leave like this narco. A convicted fentanyl dealer who was seen crying like a baby as she was iced. You would think deporting drug dealers and gangbangers would be a unifying issue.
Yeah, we don't know who these people are. We only have your word for it. But even if they were drug dealers, then charge them with fucking crimes and then deport them to their countries. You don't send them to a foreign country to the rape camps, okay?
Yeah, but you'd be wrong. Obama Judge James Boasberg tried putting the kibosh on Trump's deportation flights over the weekend. And it turns out his family might be compromised. Boasberg's daughter works for migrants.
We'll attack your family. If you come out after Trump, it's not just you have to think about, okay? So think very carefully where you want to come out against Trump, where you want to deny him the right to do whatever he wants to, because it's not just you that we're going to come after. We're going to come after everybody you love. We're going to smear their name on national television. There's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can hide. You better shut the fuck up and let us do whatever the goddamn hell we want to. That's the message they're sending, even if they don't do anything to this judge. Message loud and clear.
Gives them legal advice and protects them from getting deported. Oh, and happened to call the Lake and Riley Act a terrible law. Oh, and his wife founded an abortion clinic and hosted Doug Emhoff.
We're going to come after your wife, too. Nobody's safe.
Speak at her event. Is that a conflict of interest?
Is the judge that was literally put on the bench by Donald Trump who oversaw his case, was that a conflict of interest? No? Almost seems like you're kind of picking and choosing here, buddy.
We should look into that. In the meantime, Trump says the judge should leave defending the homeland to the president.
Many people have called for his impeachment.
Yep, everybody called for his impeachment, including the House, immediately rushing to punish this guy. This is how the mob works, folks. Are you going to come after us? We're going to come after you and everybody you love, okay? You don't come after us. We come after fucking you. We make an example out of you. So everybody else knows to leave us the fuck alone. Let us do whatever we want to do. And yes, House GOP moves swiftly to impeach judge targeted by Trump. And Elon Musk, small bean Elon Musk, who never did anything wrong in his life, donated the max to impeach judges, folks. Because our vote doesn't count. There is no checks and balances. The richest man in the world can spend more money that he found in his couch cushions than every one of us combined to hammer through whatever they want done to make sure the orange dictator has complete rule over us, that they can disappear us to the rape camps, and there's nobody there to protect us. And even some on the Republican side are starting to get a little nervous on what's happening. Supreme Court Justice John Roberts now coming out and saying, hey, you can't just impeach judges for doing their job. Then the judicial system would become completely useless. The entire point of what we're doing is checks and balances against the other branches of government. Scary times. He's worried about having his power taken away.
Bring a rare rebuke to President. Tonight, Chief Justice John Roberts delivering a rare rebuke to President Trump after the president called for the impeachment of a federal judge who tried to block the swift deportation of nearly 300 undocumented migrants the White House says are violent gang members. Trump labeling Judge James Boasberg a radical left lunatic, prompting the Chief Justice to write, quote, for more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision.
Yeah, you did this, motherfucker. You said that he was above the law in anything he was doing under acts of president, which is anything that he can claim. You did this. It's the fucking mess you made, motherfucker.
Is after the president used the 18th century Alien Enemies Act to deport what DHS says included Tren de Aragua gang members to a prison in El Salvador. Boasberg had verbally ordered the flights to turn around, but the White House says it complied with his written order that did not include those instructions.
He's attempting to meddle in national security and foreign affairs, and he can't do it. These are foreign terrorists. The president has identified them and designated them.
Trust us, bro. We ain't even give you their names, but they're real bad guys. And then Fox News immediately freaking out against their boy, Judge Roberts. Just shut the fuck up. Let the president disappear anybody to the rape camps he wants to, okay? Just let him usurp the power of the judicial branch, Judge Roberts, and shut the fuck up.
So he's not involved, this judge. Why is he making himself involved, Dana?
Well, I think also the other thing that he does by making himself involved is he makes the Chief Justice job much harder.
No, he doesn't. Anyway, maybe a guy in a robe in D.C. can follow all the protocols, but Trump is the fucking president of the United States who protects 300 million plus people. He doesn't. He makes us all way less safe. He is the leader who does not have the luxury of opening up his little books to read, oh my God, maybe he didn't do it the right way. Yeah, he can't be expected to follow the law, baby. He's the president. Robert, shut the fuck up. This is something that a president has to do. He has to do this. It blows my mind how wrong I was in 2016 or 2015 when Trump came down the escalator and I was like, I can't believe he said these things. Everything he said was right. They are sitting bad people. They're sitting bad people. Who are they then? What are their names? What have they done? What are the crimes that they committed? Tell us. What did he say? They're sitting killers and rapists. Do you remember this? Yes, that's Greg Gutfeld telling you to shut the hell up, Justice Roberts. And Matt Walsh just outright saying, ignore them. Ignore the courts. You are a dictator now. So you have the president as the commander-in-chief. You have the voters who elected him. 25% of people voted for him, by the way. 22%, actually, if you want to get technical about it. To set these policies, and then some unelected random federal judge can just come along and say, nope, sorry, you can't do any of that. That's how the checks and balances have always worked. I do agree the system no longer works and has to collapse and be rebuilt from the ground floor, if that's your argument, Matt Walsh. You know why you can't do it? Because I personally don't like it. I'm a judge. I personally think that it's bad, and so you can't do it. So anyway, long story short, he's just telling them, ignore them, ignore all of the courts, Donald Trump. Nobody's going to do anything. You're the God now. Just do what you want. And I totally agree with Daniel here. The leap from disappearing the undocumented to disappearing visa holders to disappearing green card holders to disappearing naturalized citizens to disappearing natural-born citizen is no leap at all, but a series of tiny steps, and they don't give a shit. The same exact people that claim that they're patriots, that they love the Constitution, will be the same ones that frog march us to the rape camp, Shaw. Mark my words. If they don't find enough of them that'll do it, they'll bring Russian troops over here to do it. Be easy for the Russian troops to oppress us, to kill us, to rape us. You think I'm fucking kidding, y'all? It's been 3 fucking weeks and we're already disappearing people to rape camps in foreign countries. 3 fucking weeks, y'all. Hell, I thought it was going to be bad, but that was even quick for me. On top of that, apparently ICE has disappeared 48 New Mexico residents. That seems bad. Civil rights attorney are sounding the alarm after 48 New Mexico residents disappeared after their arrest by federal immigration enforcement agents this month. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has not indicated where any of them are being detained, whether they have access to counsel, in what conditions they are being held, or even which agency is holding them, according to a federal complaint from the American Civil Liberties Union of New Mexico. They have been effectively forcibly disappeared from our communities, attorneys wrote. At least 48 people ICE described as illegal aliens were arrested in a week-long series of operations in Albuquerque, Roswell, and Santa Fe earlier this month, according to the agency. But only 21 people had final orders of removal from the country. This is not just a procedural issue. It's a serious human rights violation, according to Rebecca Sheff, senior staff attorney at the ACLU of New Mexico. And yep, I will say disappearing people seems like a violation of civil rights a little bit, I guess. Not the only ones having a bad time. ICE picks up random Latino man who was born in Chicago. Even American citizens, folks. If you're brown, they ain't down. If you ain't white, it ain't right. The 22 cases, including Chicago resident Julio Noriega, 54, a U.S. citizen who, according to court documents, was arrested, handcuffed, and spent most of the night at an ICE processing center in suburban Broadview. He was never questioned about his citizenship and was only released after agents looked at his ID. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and am a U.S. citizen, Noriega said in a statement, adding that on January 31st, after buying pizza in Berwyn, he was surrounded by ICE agents and arrested. Officers took away his wallet, which had his ID and Social Security card. They then cuffed me and pushed me into a white van where other people were handcuffed as well. How many American citizens have had this happen to them that have been desperate that we don't know about? How many are in the rape camps right now, folks? We don't know. They won't tell us. In this fucking nightmare that is happening right now, folks. We don't have to wait. It's not coming. It's here, y'all. And a big part of the reason they're doing this is to discourage brown people from even coming and visiting our country. If they're treating American citizens like this, what do you think they're going to do to you people? Even white people, though, folks. A French researcher was detained on arrival in the U.S. His computer and phone confiscated, searched, and his texts criticizing Trump's cuts to scientific research were deemed by the Department of Homeland Security agents as hatred of Trump. Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome is a good enough reason to get you deported. No more free speech in this country. That could be described as terrorism. He was deported the next day, according to a diplomatic source to the AFP. The incident occurred on March 9th. The space researcher was reportedly subjected to a random check upon arrival, during which his work computer and personal phone were searched. That's scary. The same source also reported that messages discussing the Trump administration's treatment of scientists were found. He was reportedly accused of messages that reflect hatred towards Trump and can be described as terrorism. His professional and personal equipment was reportedly confiscated, and the researcher was sent back to Europe the next day. According to another source briefed on the case to AFP, the French researcher was accused by the American authorities of hateful and conspiratorial messages. He was reportedly informed of an FBI investigation for which charges were dropped, the sources said. And yes, as dog boy Hassan Abbey says, thinking mean thoughts about Trump is now terrorism. Yep. Scary times, folks. What can you say, man? I have a bag packed, y'all. I'm thinking I won't be the first white American citizen that they pick up and send to the rape camps. I'm hoping I'm not the first. I'm not in the first batch. But as soon as it happens, and it's probably coming, I'm fucking out, y'all. I'm deleting my channel. I'm leaving the country. I'm not going to the rape camp. Sorry. I know I'm a coward. I know I am. But I'm not taking any fucking chance, y'all. I'm sorry that the country has become this. It's crazy that it became this. But here the fuck we are. I'm smart enough not to deny reality just because it's uncomfortable. Yeah, thought crimes. And even if you're white, folks, Jasmine Mooney, a Canadian actress from American Pie, was detained by U.S. immigration for 12 days. This has got to be good for tourism.
I do not wish it upon anyone, to be honest. Like, no one deserves to go through that, what I witnessed, yeah.
You were transported multiple times?
I was transported 3 times, yeah. I was transported today from Arizona all the way back to San Diego, so I haven't slept in 24 hours.
And during the whole process, did anyone tell you what was going on, when you were going to come back?
I still don't even know how I'm home. My best friend Brittany is right there, and her and my friends and my family and the media are the reason I think that I'm home. I haven't even talked to her. I haven't been able to talk to anyone. In 12 days, no one told me anything. Like, not once. So I don't even know how I'm home right now, to be honest.
This is literally not even America anymore. It's some other third world dystopian dictatorship almost over fucking night. Congratulations, America.